Well, my friends, I'm back with another video. One last video for tonight, actually. Reviewing episode 11 of Bleach Powers in the Blood War. The everything but the Rain storyline. The biggest part of the Rain arc's first. The biggest part of Powers in the Blood War's first core. And boy, it jumps low. It just. I know it's a whole bunch of information that can make my brain explode. My God. I mean, this is one informative episode. Everything we know so far, it's just amazing to find this all out. There's still one mystery left though. Someone who gets suit might be it. And the post-credit scene is effing amazing. Like, it's bloody amazing. Oh, without further ado, let's just get into the review. So the episode opens up with back at the place where there's created as Arbok tells Reggie that Ichigo did not have the time. That he should know that Ichigo shouldn't be able to do it. Since he wasn't chosen by the Atsushi. Also, he was chosen by Atsushi by you training and being with it for the entire time. You inject your own spiritual energy to create your own personal Zanpakuto. And he explained how Suchi even got, how Kapachi had got one. He took out a dead Soiba. So does that mean when a Soiba dies, the Zanpakuto is referred back to Atsuchi's? That would make sense. If that's true, that would make sense of how Kenpachi was able to get his Zanpakuto. Because it looks totally different from what he took over the dead Soiba. So, yeah, that's the only thing I can make of it by that explanation. Otherwise, it won't make any sense. Ichigo needs to know himself. Ichigo won't be able to do it in his current state. Since he needs to know more about himself first. As we cut to Ichigo outside the Kurosaki Clinic. He's shot by there. And Ishii comes out, being his usual idiotic self, but realizes Ichigo ran away. Ichigo ends up running into a familiar character we haven't seen in a while, Ichigo's boss. Yeah, if you haven't watched the last arc, I suggest you watch it before watching the Powers of the Blood War. Because there's some characters that appear here. And that's Ichigo's boss. And she's a unique character. When we get to know her, she's cool. I think she's a cool character. She's unsure why Ichigo's out in the rain. She's a little annoyed too. But she's a likable character. She may be of a tough exterior, but she's a kind person. Hey, she is a little annoyed that Ichigo hasn't showed up and worked for a couple of days. Most likely done about Wakemundo. Most likely because Ichigo was in Wakemundo for most of the story. Anyway, Quarter of is this July. Oof, a 3-month wait. Jeez. Sometime in July we'll release a Quarter. Oh, that's gonna be a long wait. Anyway. Ichigo apologizes for being an inconvenience. She also if he has time to apologize, he just needs to come back to work. He has no need to apologize. And after Ichigo's she gives Ichigo a bun. She mentions that she's like a bit ever since she met Ichigo, she feels like a big sister to him. You know? Which is a nice term. She's a kind person. She's just has a very rough exterior. So, yeah. But anyway, so, yeah. Anyway, which is something I forgot that I did mention last night, I forgot. That Unohara passed on her powers to Kenpachi. Now he's able to see his Zanpakuto. He was able for the first time. And by Core 2, we get to see it Shikai. I'm curious to know what it looks like. It's definitely going to be dangerous. I bet you it might be chainsaws. No, not chainsaws, buzzsaws. You know? Like, buzzsaws on his hands for... I'd like to hear your thoughts on what Kenpachi's Zanpakuto might look, what Kenpachi's Shikai might look like. I really want to hear your thoughts on that, because something we want to know, we wanted to know for years, but never thought we would. See two characters use their Bankai for the first time was amazing. Anyway, someone rings the doorbell. She answers. She says no one's there, but then we cut back to Ichigo. He's shocked to see his dad in a sober form. Anyway, he tells his boss he's leaving now. Begs her, assures her that he's fine. So he's. Ideally, she knows that he dropped his soul pass. Before she even back to him, he's gone. She thinks she might deliver to him tomorrow. Anyway, Ichigo talks to his dad. He knows that if his dad's in his soul form, he knows he knows everything. So yeah, that he was kicked out and stuff, but he tells Ichigo the reason that he didn't have a Zanpakuto fix. He wasn't surprised because Ichigo doesn't know about himself. So Ishii thinks now's the time to tell him. Mind Ichigo that he'll not, when he's ready, he invites Ichigo on something he said in the battle of, when they battled Aizen back in the Urankar arc. That he'll hear him when he's ready. So Ishii probably tells the story about his mother, that says Ichigo's not super nor human. Well, he's not an ordinary human. Tells him where his mother is. Someone we suspected. Yeah, we get a splash of an injured Ishin and a young Misaki. It's weird when you think about it. And she introduces herself as Misaki Kurosaki. And she's a Quincy. Then, by the way, the way the title card picks up is brilliant. And the way it just slows down to introduce the title card, that was brilliant animation. So we go back many years. We do not know how many years specifically. By the way, why is Misaki's hair more darker? I don't know, was more of a light brown or something in the original anime? Hell, if she's a Quincy, could she use her powers to help to try and protect Ichigo from Grand Fisher? Now she didn't have her Quincy powers anymore. My guess is she lost her Quincy powers but still had Quincy blood. You met me? So anyway, we cut to back to the Soul Society years ago. We see Squad 10 Lieutenant Rangiku Maximura. I think that's her name. I know her first name, Rangiku. She looks exactly how she appeared in the previous filler story. The filler story in the original anime. Actually, I think it was filler. Or specifically, I think it might be the Zanpakuto Rebellion arc. I'm not sure, but yeah, maybe. I can't remember, but I think it was one of the filler episode. Then we learned how Captain Hitsugaya met Rangiku. So Rangiku looks exactly how she did back then, just in a different animation style. So yeah, so back then Rangiku was still lieutenant, but the captain was different. Ishii was captain of Squad 10 at the time, and his full name is Ishin Shiba. Yes, as a member of the Shiba clan. Boy, so much information dropped in this episode. Just, and that's not all the information we learned in this suit that we're gonna learn, but not in this episode though. But still, mind blown. Everything we know from the start. That makes Goju and Kukaku Ichigo's cousins. That's just Mike, and they knew who Ichigo was when they first saw him. My guess is because he looked like his dad when he was young. So I chose just to mention about their brother, who's a Soul Reaper. Well, it's God who chose to mention that. My guess is he didn't think that was Ichigo. Didn't know who Ichigo was at first, but Kukaku actually, after they came, Kukaku actually managed to tell him. Kukaku actually secretly told him about that. That's my guess, because that's my. And it makes a lot of sense too when you think about it. I mean, look at Ichigo and Kaien. They look alike, and now we know why. It makes a lot of sense. Because it just makes a lot of sense there, don't you think? I mean, Ichigo's personality a bit rough. Kukaku and Goju are also rough. So is Kaien and Ishin. It makes total sense. And that's not all news we get. Now we know why Ichigo's connected to Ichigo's actually connected to Uyu's family. Anyway, Speech is like Ishii was captain of Squad 10 and God. That makes sense. I always wondered, like, if they would have recognized the name Kurosaki. If Ishii's dad was originally called Kurosaki, they would have recognized the name, but made me realize that probably wasn't his original name. Before, my guess is Misaki was just Kurosaki before marrying her. Before Ishii married her, Ishii was Shiba. That's why they do. But I think as they got to know Ichigo more, they kind of guessed that he was related to Ishin, former captain of Squad 10. I think we might get the reason why he never lost the position of captain. And this takes place a couple of years after the events of the past arc, after Aizen ruined the lives of Shinji and the others. So yeah, see, Rocky was slightly different when she's there. She still has a attitude, but she doesn't like, she holds respect for her captain, but she's more like she's quite slightly different back then, isn't she? Not the character we know today, or who likes to drink a lot. But it's pretty interesting. So yeah, she's running away from responsibilities though. I don't know specifically what he was doing up in the tree. We actually see a young Toshio Hitsugaya. And even Ishii mentions that he's the captain in training. I'm lucky to ask, Angry asks why did she be trained to become captain? Because it's because of rank, but well, Ishii's got a point where he mentions this. Because the squad would be ruined if Rankigo became captain. I agree. So does Toshiro. Like, I knew she wasn't fit for captain material the whole time. She's irresponsible. She's very irresponsible. So I actually do agree with that. We all do, don't we? We all agree with the saying. And Captain Izuka has been doing Bankai training. We know his Bankai, Hyorimaru. Dengari Hyorimaru. I do not know if I said that right. But seeing a young Hisukaya is so weird. And well, I don't think Rankigo actually respected him back then. But she grew to respect him. I'd like to know the story behind that. Anyway, after the scene of Ishii looking for something he hid in one of the cupboards, well, Toshiro is trying. Hitsugaya is trying to tell him about cases that some papers he's got. I see about some incidents happen. Hitsugaya reveals he's the one who ate it. I thought it was Gigu who ate it, but Hitsugaya, I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect it, but then again, he's still a kid. Even though he says he's older. I just love Hitsugaya. He's just a fun character. I'm curious to know where that phone came from, by the way. I played Jump Boss, and he used to say, it's just a form. I don't think it's Bankai. I don't think it might be Bankai, but I could be wrong. What else? Anyway, he's the guy who brought that two soldiers are being killed. Are somehow being killed. So Ishii decides to go alone. No, it's being dangerous, but he's the guy and Rangiku stay behind. Meanwhile, in Squad 12, in some type of research room, we see three familiar faces we hope we never have to see again. Also, I'm obviously talking about Sosuke Aizen, Kaname Tosen, and Gin Ichimaru, the three traitors of the Soul Society. And they're all captains. Even more damning evidence this takes place before the events of the past arc, before Urahara became captain. So my guess is Ishii somehow met Urahara. I guess Ishii must have heard of Urahara being banished and decides to meet him. So, anyway. Ishii rides in the world of the living. Goes to Soibus. He tells the lady because he thinks it might be dangerous. Meanwhile, we cut to the Ishida residence. As we see Misaki there. And he abused him. Why is Misaki in the Ishida residence? Her last name is Kurosaki. Well, that's because she was technically taken in by the Ishida family. Because she's a pure blood Quincy. My guess is the Kurosakis were a clan of Quincy's that were killed. That Ichigo's the last. So that makes Ichigo the last Kurosaki. Well, that makes Ichigo's family the last Kurosaki's. But here's the matter: if Ichigo's half Quincy, if he's a Quincy, how can he get Soul Reaper powers? I think Ishii said that you're maybe Soul Reaper, but you're not. But have you ever wondered how you're able to get Soul Reaper powers? Ishii should have just said that you're half a soul. Yes, you may not be happy with powers. You may have Soul Reaper powers. That's just half of your abilities. And Ichigo has Quincy abilities other than Soul Reaper abilities. So I loved this episode. So yeah, you can tell the older woman that she calls Auntie, which actually reveals to be Uryu's grandmother, the wife of Uryu's master, his grandfather. And she's definitely not like him. She's a bitch. So she just doesn't quit. She just doesn't like Misaki much. Misaki not taking her training seriously or something. Anyway, Uryu's father shows up, looking much younger. Now we explain the connection, how those two know each other. But they never. So, I mean, Masaki's not a pure blood Ishida. She's still Kurosaki. She's just been taken in by the Ishidas. So that kind of makes her adopted so that makes Uryu kind of related one of Ichigo's relatives. Well, not blood related, but still, it makes them kind of like half brothers or something. Well, not actual half brothers, just technical in a way, because it's complicated. Yeah. Anyway, he came by just to ask if where the old man his father is. She doesn't know either. Probably traded somewhere. Hey, he tries to weak some Misaki. Misaki managed to quickly. Even he cares about her. After talking a bit, she leaves. They go back to her room. Real. He talks to the maid. That my guess, might be Uryu's mother. The way she looks, like the way she looks at him. That's just my guess. I'm not sure. We still don't know much about Uryu's mother. What's her role to play? How did his mother die? Hey, after a long conversation, he wonders that will she be happy marrying him? Yeah, makes sense for them to marry. Keep the Quincy blood alive, but since they're both Quincy's. Ah, now I get it. That makes a lot of sense now, why he gave up being a Quincy. What happened to Misaki? What? Maybe he gave up the Quincy path to support Misaki. Or maybe because he really hated his mother. I don't know, there must be a reason. This give us a reason why he did not what he said was not profitable. I think he lied. Maybe because he didn't want his son to become a Quincy, wanted him to live a normal life. That's my guess. But he just didn't want to show it. Because we know he's a nice guy. Otherwise he would have called Ichigo or Orihime back in the Fullbred arc. Ah. Let's see. Alright, if Ichigo dies, does he actually come back to the Soul? Does he actually appear in the Soul Society if he dies? He's half Soulbred but half human and half Quincy. Doesn't mean if he dies, he won't go to the Soul Society. Like, I don't know. I'm curious now. Anyway, he wants Misaki to be happy. Hey, she's not stupid either. She knows why Ishida took her in after the Kurosakis were killed. Meanwhile, Ishii is trying to figure out who killed Osoibus. As the two we met earlier are still there. He's not sure if it's likely to target Osoibus or any real strong spiritual pressure. So the loyalty quizzes the spiritual pressure. The other two soldiers admire and they just immediately get killed. Brutally. Like, the soldier that admired him, we just see his face sliced into pieces for kind of the screaming. Ichi hasn't confronted the person that killed him. Someone like a hollow, but yet not. Which, some reason, the long hair, the way the mask is designed, just not the markings, it reminds me of the form Ichigo took in Waco Mundo when battling Ukiero. It just reminds me of that. But this hollow has spiritual pressure as a hollow, but it looks different. Its hull is sealed. By the way, early on, Aizen Kaname and Gin were searching for Shinji and doing hollow creation experiments. So if Shinji's still alive, possible ruin his plans in the future. So he searched to kill him. So Misaki senses strong spiritual pressure. So even though Uista tells her not to, she still goes. She does admire that he was able to think before acting, but she does what she can. Meanwhile, so Ishii's still in the fighting. Right, U's dad plans to go out to keep an eye on her. See, Ishii using his Zanpakuto Shikai to fight, but then he's struck from behind when trying to press the fight. He's struck by Aizen. But yeah, he doesn't know it's Aizen. All he knows is he was actually struck by a Soul Reaper, the Zanpakuto. Knows there's a traitor among them, and we know who they are. See, Aizen's just more sick than he was in the series. More like a psycho here. The way he assessed with qualification. I'll the advisors went Aizen after all these years. Ishii's struggling, whether he's helped out by Misaki. He doesn't know who she is. Yeah. But his Shikai is a flame Zanpakuto, kind of like Hikaru Yamamoto's. They're both flames, being Zanpakutos, but they have different abilities. Yuji Jaka is more of a manipulating the flames movie or something. I don't know how to explain it, but the way they use the flames are different. So yeah. Carrie sees a threat plan and tries to press the girl but stopped by Aizen, saying doesn't he want to see how this plays out. Showing how sick and twisted Aizen is even then. His eyes show how much show how much he's invested in this. Show how twisted his psyche he is. Just by the way his eyes are moving, smaller and just the way his expression is, it chills you to the bone. I like it. It just shows how much he is. So Masaki, knowing her hours don't work, that somehow this hollow attacks her. She deactivates her bow, allows it to bite her. So it was shocking, but she kills it up close. And then it's about to explode. So Ishii takes the bow to the explosion. So the Aizen, Gin, and Kaname leave. So yeah, Asaki is gonna heal him. He's grateful. Ishii's grateful, but asks who is she. She has to think about what to say. She tells him he's a Quincy. He might kill. How he react. But decides to go for the risk anyway. Introduces her as Masaki Kurosaki. Now she's a Quincy. Ishii reacts with a smile. He says he never seen one before. She's not sure what's going on. She helps all Soul doesn't like him. That kind of stuff. She hopes so that she can prove it wrong. Back at the base, Chloe is pissed that we reveal that this holification happened on a dead Soul Reaper. One of the two dead must be one of the two that was killed or something. And well, saying that it tried to transfer its powers into another Soul Reaper, but instead transfer it into Quincy, the opposite. But that's Aizen more curious to see how it play out. And that's where the episode ends. Say Aizen's just so bone chilling in this episode. And I cannot wait to watch episodes 12 and 13. Now then, actually, they aired like a special. But they're separate on Disney Plus, on streaming apps. For some reason. I don't get it. How... I don't know myself. I'm gonna get that a little bit later. But anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. Oh, actually, I nearly forgot. There's actually a post-credit scene with Uryu starting in the rain. We don't know how he's been, but there we see the second in command of the Quincy's approaching Uryu, most likely to join them. But will Uryu actually do that? Well, we gotta get spotted in the opening. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please hit the thumbs up button. I want to see my subscribe channel, notification about me up to date, or reviews comes out in the future. And we see manga, but if you want to see the comparison to the manga with the anime, if you want to see comparisons between the anime and manga, go check out DBZ Man. He does a lot of videos. But again, thank you guys. I'll see you next time for another video. Keep Felix out.